tell us where the vision of Southside Summerfest really originated from, because I know your heart is really in the community. Your story is a wonderful journey, but we're not going to go on that tonight. But I know part of this probably transcended from what you've been through. So where did Summerfest come from for you, and what?
Well, I just want to shout out Catch My Vibe Radio and your podcast and all the stuff y'all doing in the city. You know, the vision that this type of radio station has really is the same type of vision that gave birth to Southside Festival Series. And you know, everything that has a birth to it, so to speak, still has a genesis to that even birth before it's even birthed and given life. And Southside Festival Series, it really the vision of it, right? The vision of it goes back to 2008. My cousin Deborah Green, who is the founder of Happy, Helping All People Excel, really a homegrown based community organization, nonprofit that used to exist here in the city. And it operated for a decade without any funding, just like many of our small based organizations now, doing things in the community without any support, any funding, but continue to do what they can do. And so when I came home in 2006, the organization was already up and running, had no funding, no programs and things of that nature. And I jumped right in with my cousin and got right in with the organization and really helped it move and jump. And through our partnerships and our collaborations, we ultimately created what was called the Southside Fall Festival. And that took place in 2008 at the King Center. And the vision of that was, there's all these nonprofit organizations in the community of Jackson, funded. Some of them have millions of dollars and some of them have hundreds of thousands of dollars. But their mission is to serve certain disparate populations in our community, namely populations like the South Side. And those services that they had, they were either not directly accessible to us, or in fact we didn't even know they existed. But yet they were getting funding, writing for grants to service us, but we didn't know they existed. So the vision of the Fall Festival was to bring all these local organizations that were located on the north side, located on the east side, located downtown. None of them were on the south side though, but we were supposed to access these services. So we went to each one of them, brought them to the King Center for a big festival. It was packed, it was beautiful, we had performances. Matter of fact, Teasley Hawkins, her first public performance publicly was at that event. You know what I mean? She was young. She was like 17 years old, fresh out of high school. You know, still in high school actually. And AJ, it was their first live performances, getting booked to perform at a public event. You know what I mean? They had been singing in churches and doing things, and you know, for events of that nature. But for a public event, that was the first time. So that Fall Festival, unfortunately, the next year through our partnerships and collaborations, what happens to most small bourgeoning, you know, black organizations, the bigger organizations swallow them up or take their mission, take their ideas and run with it. So if you've ever known, anybody in Jackson's history ever seen what happened in 2009 and 10, you see across the street from Nixon Park at the St. John's School, that Fall Festival is our Southside Fall Festival. They took from us. Our partners took that the next year. Instead of doing it at the King Center, they took it there, and then they made it bigger and bigger and bigger. So years and years later, I'm riding down High Street and I see they're removing all of the debris, the trees, the bushes from that area, High Street and Milwaukee, which my brother, his grandmother and his mother's house was right there. It's now burned down, but it's in that area at the top of the hill. So I grew up playing there. So when I seen them removing all the bushes, I said, man, we got to do something there. There's a vision to do something there. I didn't know what exactly it was going to be. 2018 came, and we decided to start working on an idea for something for Jackson. My idea in that meeting we had with the Jackson JCEC, it was called Jackson Citizens Advisory Committee or something of that nature. We were sitting in the meeting trying to figure out what should we do for the city. I came up with the idea, let's do a big mural in the city and post it up, a mural on the south side. And slowly but surely, it was Southside Mural Pride, Southside Pride, celebrating Southside on the, you know, etc. So all that came into effect. Then it was, well, how do we display this? What do we do? Then the vision was, let's do a festival, because in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, they do what's called the Summerfest, and they're like the biggest city that does a Summerfest. And I went there in 1989, 91, etc. And I heard of the Summerfest, so I knew about it. So I was like, let's do a Southside Summerfest to reveal the mural. So we did it in 2019. We planned from 2018, did it in 2019. 2020 came, COVID. had no real plan of doing an annual festival, even though we did say first annual Southside Festival. We produced the flyer, so there must have been an intent there. So that next year came, and me and Yosef was talking, and things about spray painting bros, Black Lives Matter. Yosef was like, let's do it. Let's figure out what we're gonna do with that. Yosef said, man, let's do it right there on High Street, right in front of that little plaza right there. And I was like, oh, that's the vision. I said, that's the connection. So everything came together. I said, let's do it, and let's do it as a festival for the Southside Festival from the year before we did it. And then slowly but surely it just picked up, and the vision just became materialized. That not only was it a vision to reinstate what we had as the festival is now big on the north side, but it's the fact that the South Side, the black community, doesn't have its own cultural institution, such as a festival institution, to provide an opportunity for entrepreneurs, for businesses, for community leaders, for organizations to actually come together and service its community. We don't have that. Why? And so because we don't have it, this ultimately became the opportunity to have it. And so we feel compelled to continue to fight for its existence.
Absolutely. So that was a lot to unfold for anybody that does not know or has not ever been to a Summerfest. I encourage you to come. I stepped out, I think, the first year when COVID, I think, is the first year I came actually to Summerfest. And for me, it was like this brightening light in the South Side that I've never lived on the South Side, but my kids were kind of like raised on Laurel Lane. My best friend lived there. We spent thousands of hours at her house. And there wasn't a lot happening over there for our kids or really anybody on the South Side as far as businesses or any events that were very accessible. So for me, it was like, here is something that's just beautiful. And I've attended, I think, about 95% of everyone that's been on since I've known about it. And for me, it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful event overall, but it's just so encouraging as a person like me that didn't grow up over here to see something flourish in the capacity that it is and has and will continue as long as the vision stays forward moving, which I know with you, you put your heart and soul into anything you do, so I don't see that dying anytime soon. So Myeshia, I know you're kind of on a time crunch, so I want to hear from you before you got to run. Myeshia is one of the most busiest ladies. She does a million things in the community. I've had the pleasure of knowing Myeshia probably since the first Summerfest. I think is probably when I met her, along with Hakim, Selena, Justin, and everybody that really is involved. The networking opportunity or just the ability to meet people at that event, for me, pulled me out of where I was always comfortable, which was not really talking to people I didn't know, or if I wasn't approached by somebody, I didn't have the conversation, right? But Summerfest, everybody's so engaging that's there. It got me out of my comfort zone, and it's allowed me to really form friendships, networking opportunities, and really be involved in more things than I've ever been involved in the past in our community. So I appreciate everything about it. What compelled you, Myeshia, to be a part of Southside Summerfest and then be a part of the team and really kind of push this forward? I know you're kind of the one that's running around the event all the time. You don't sit still. You're always doing raffle tickets, you're engaging, you're taking pictures, you're playing with the kids. You're doing literally everything that one person could manage to do. So really, what compelled you to be involved overall? And how did you get involved?
Yeah, so I don't know exactly like the details of how I got involved. I know, a long time ago, when I was the Rose Queen of Jackson, I started really getting out into the Jackson community and learning and understand the community. And that's when me and Hakim first met. I believe, is that when we first met? So around that time. And so I just began to get more engaged with the community. And I really saw when this evolution of the series was happening, I became informed and passionate and excited about it. I think it was mentioned, like, I don't know why this be happening, but we have to understand that the things that are happening in our community, specifically the South Side, the things that have happened, have been because of intentional disinvestment. It's not an accident that we don't have access to fresh food. It's not an accident that we don't have anything, happening within that community. It's not an accident that thriving Black-owned businesses that once were here are no longer here. It's not an accident that, we were promised low-income housing and now we're building 150,000 houses on the south side of Jackson, which is not low-income housing.
Right.
None of this stuff is accidentally happening. There's been a long institutional way of thinking of disinvesting in communities such as the south side of Jackson. And so once I start understanding that, it was imperative that we continue to push this mission forward, because what do people think when they come on the south side of Jackson? They think it's hood, it's ghetto, it's going to be fighting, it's going to be shooting. We're even taught as Black people of color, Black people, to be pitted against each other, to fight for resources. We can't share a safe space well together. And all that is just not true. And
Right.
so I knew it needed to happen for our people, the people who live on the south side of Jackson, the people who once had those thriving businesses and don't anymore, the people that have lived there and raised their children and now their grandchildren on that side. And we needed to bring life back to the south side of Jackson. I know we have the King Center. Some of our events, we do in the King Center, our book expo and things like that. Kwanzaa, we've done it there. But that we need more. We need the whole south side to be flourishing, And so really just understanding the vision that Hakim has set forth, it's just an honor to be able to work with him, because he's like, this is it. And really through this journey, I've been able to find my voice in the way in which I advocate for my community, being around strong and powerful leaders. And if we stop, then what?
Right.
If we stop, then what? We have to continue to move forward so that the legacy that we leave, the children that are following us, that are seeing us, I want our children to look up and to see powerful leaders who are making a positive impact in this community.
And want to continue
it, right? We have the misperception we have as men and women, as powerful men and women of color, has been tainted for too long. We're not going to continue to let that happen. So we show up in this space as our authentic selves, not apologizing for who we are, how we communicate. We bring our full selves to this table, and we have a successful event, like you said, full of love, full of fun, full of laughter, Black-owned businesses. And then even the most important piece, we bring them to us, the people who have been on the outside, curious, wondering, and who's had those misconceptions. We bring them into the south side and show them who we really are.
Absolutely.
So.
For me, when I go down, and I always try to bring my kids, and my grandson's been very involved, and he's grown up coming to South. He was born in 2020, so he's been to plenty of Summerfest, right? And to be able to just kind of let your kid run free a little bit and know that they're safe, right? That's not what people think. They think, oh my God, you better release your kid and keep them close because something bad might happen. That's an environment and an event where you don't have to feel that way. I've never felt unsafe at a Summerfest event. And I've been there at closing and when vendors are leaving and trying to, make sure everything's in order. And we've hung out after Summerfest and nothing bad has ever occurred, right? And so it's just, it is a bright light on the south side that I'm just glad to be able to come to the event and be able to see it. I've also been a vendor there, and those moments were just, again, engaging with the community for me and learning about the people that I didn't know about. I will be honest and transparent, and I say this all the time. I'm a person that talks about white privilege because I understand what it is, and now in a different capacity, understanding how I can utilize that in a way that really helps push forward the needle to get people to understand white privilege exists. I wake up every single day with it, right? But that doesn't mean I have to use my white privilege for negativity or to push that narrative. I can be an ally towards every situation that's happening when it comes to Black people, when it comes to the LGBT community. These are things that we all can stand up for, but so many people take the bow down route, right? They don't want to speak up because, God, what if somebody sees them speaking out or speaking up for what we believe and know is right happening? And so that event, it's just beautiful to me. I think you guys know how I feel about it. I've expressed to Hakim many times. how beautiful it is to me. What I'm excited about this year, especially, is the change of the format of Summerfest, and I really want to talk about that. So we're kicking off, and I'm going to pull up the schedule that you sent me. So we're kicking off Friday night with a big jam session and Catch My Vibe Radio, which we're here in the studios recording live. We are super, super excited and ecstatic to be invited to host that event.
Okay.
Just so happens it's on my birthday, and so I will be celebrating my birthday, joining in that evening of fun, which we have many, many, many artists. I'm not going to attempt to name them all. There's probably about 10 to 12 on the roster. I'm hoping everybody shows up and just shows out, because I think it would just be a great night. So we're kicking off Friday night with that, and then there's just a ton to happen over the weekend. But before we get into the details of it, what was the reason for the change in the formatting? Instead of doing, it was May, June, July before, May, June, July, August. So 4 months during the summer, then Kwanzaa and the book fair. So what was the idea behind just changing?
Yeah, so hopefully this change isn't a permanent change, so to speak. We had to make a pivot because, as you understand, when businesses seek to thrive and to continue to thrive, they have to have sustainability. And it's been very difficult for us, just like it was in the beginning for the Happy organization, helping all people excel, to stay funded and to stay operational. We just haven't necessarily gotten the full financial support that we really need to be a thriving, sustaining entity, right? And so this year, with understanding that, it became a need to really balance the budget. So really cutting back to one big weekend really took the rest of the events and put them all at one time, because we looked at a couple different things logistically. The city was bringing us the equipment, the stage and things on Friday night, blocking off the whole road, and they wasn't coming getting it back till Monday. So we was only using Saturday.
Right.
So it was like there's opportunity, there's space. So because of the budgetary situation, it was like let's try this and put all the events essentially on one weekend and see how that looks for us, see how that works for us as we continue to build this out and build up support for it for next year. We're very thankful for Experience Jackson that has been with us the last 3 years, really supporting us and sustaining us and helping us. But we still got to continue to make those other relationships, those other partnerships that we need. We have a great new partnership coming this year. What came this year from the Chronicle News out of Lansing.
Oh, nice.
Which is going to be big for us next year, because it comes with the support of their viewership, their readership, which is thousands and thousands of viewers all across Lansing. Newspaper been in existence for 30 years, and they do have a base now here in Jackson. One of their biggest sponsors in Lansing is MSU FCU, which is now based here in Jackson. So we hope to really forge a great partnership with them next year and enter into talks and conversations about sponsorship, about really making this what it could be. And so hopefully, what if we can do this weekend like we're doing this year, 4 times next year, right? Every month do a weekend, and that'll be something that we can hope to build up to.
Awesome. I like it. I think for me, when I looked at it, I was like, oh, that's like an interesting change. The first time I seen the flyer, an awesome job at marketing. I know, like, I talk about this, but that flyer, I have seen it probably 200 times at least. Like, it just passes my timeline at least several times a day. So the marketing on all the pages for that has been really well. And hopefully the community is grabbing on and they're going to be there. So y'all, if y'all need to be there next weekend. It's coming very quick. We're 8 days away now. I cannot believe I'm be 46, but that's a whole nother story. So hey, shout out
like some fine
Gemini
wine.
gang, you know what I'm saying? But I was excited to see the change, because it's like people that want to come to this event from further away now have the ability to be here for a whole weekend. So not only are we enhancing what's happening on the south side, that does bring more of a crowd to Jackson. It allows people that do want to travel, that they're not just traveling for that one-day event. Now they're like, well, shoot, we can make a whole weekend of this. And so that in itself is like, it's exciting to me, because you're like, dang, what are you doing that weekend? I got Summerfest all weekend, right? There's a lot happening. There's a lot of different events, which leads us into Saturday. One of the bigger things happening Saturday is Mr. Hill Harper will be joining live in the Lions Den, and so that's exciting. He will be here interviewing, but he also is doing a meet and greet, I think, beforehand from 1 to 2 or something like that.
Let's kind of talk about that, because we're gonna be doing some marketing promotions for what else he's going to be doing in Jackson as well. But we don't want to necessarily overwhelm those other spaces that he's going to be attending, because we know he has a fan base. People want to see him and meet him, and he is going to be in our community. He is going to be stopping by RJ's Heavenly Delights, RJ's Metropolitan Ice Cream. He's going to be stopping by Jackson Coffee Company, and he's going to come visit Summerfest, and he's going to walk through Summerfest and visit vendors, and then step on stage and be interviewed by George Lyons on his show The Lions Den for a live interview. And it took really about 6-7 months to pull this off. I've been working on this since last year to get Hill Harper. You got to know somebody that knows somebody. And I knew somebody that knew him, and those connections was made. And it's a great opportunity to really bring that kind of vibe to Jackson, right? But behind that vibe, of course, we got a fashion showcase to really showcase our boutiques. Yeah. We have some small base private boutiques that are doing well. Yeah. Stores, brands that are doing well, and they're going to get a chance to show that. Yeah. Right. And Greatness Brown, who like Myeshia, has done some phenomenal work at that stage of modeling and things of that nature. She's coming off a win last year. She won a huge I forget what you call it. What is it called?
For actress.
For
her modeling. It was a huge modeling award.
Yeah, she was in the modeling. She won a big modeling award in Detroit a couple months ago. But plus last year she won the.
I think that was like national.
She's Miss.
I remember seeing her post because I've been following her for a long time.
Modeling and pageantry.
Okay, she's gorgeous in person.
She's doing a lot of great stuff. She's perfect to host this for us this year.
And what time is the fashion show?
So that's going to be right after the interview. Yeah. We'll switch out and go right into that, and then after that interview, we're gonna have a painting party with Yosef. He's gonna close up the tent, and for those that are there to really paint and party and enjoy the evening after Summerfest, live music, smooth music, real dark crowd, real good opportunity.
That one's 21 and up for that event, right? 21 and up.
It should be,
I just want to make sure. I know Yosef, and I know we want to have some stuff for adults, right? So there'll be stuff for the kids happening too, right? Yeah. So there's a bouncy house gonna happen this year.
Yeah, that's going to be all day, big, huge bounce. It's going to be a huge jungle gym area. Okay. Right, where kids will be able to enjoy themselves right near the, everything's close knit, so that'll be a great opportunity. Then Sunday, of course, right, we're going to continue with Sunday. Vendors will be there, kids' activity. And then we got the Step Professor. Yeah, that's going to be phenomenal. He's going to do extreme hip hop. So those that are out there,
Myeshia gonna be out
jump
there.
Up there and get it in.
Listen, I got 2 left feet, right? I can't figure it out. Like, me and Akira used to be out there getting it at Summerfest. But one thing I got rhythm. I can dance, I can move, right? But I cannot understand how to just follow. I just don't. It's like my brain goes the whole other way. I don't know what happens, but I will be so excited to see this unfold. Which leads me to, we're actually possibly going to be in the Rose Parade, so I will for sure be down after the Rose Parade, but that kind of came up last minute for us because we weren't really planning on going to be in that. That kind of runs right up to summer, because the times are a little different Sunday, right? It's a little bit shortened on Sunday.
Sunday's 1 to 6.
1 to 6. Yeah. Okay. So any other surprises coming? You don't have to reveal them, but is there other surprises that nobody knows about yet, or just stuff that you...
Well, if it's a surprise, it's a surprise.
It's a surprise to you.
But no, we have these wonderful Southside Series shirts that are going to be available. They're available now downtown, 318 West Michigan Ave, but we're going to be selling them. I do have a surprise that goes with these shirts that I'm not going to reveal until that day, but they go with these shirts. It's a phenomenal opportunity. You pick up these shirts, come down there to Summerfest. Myeshia's going to be banging these shirts out. She's going to sell every single one of them.
Every time.
Limited. We only got 100 of them.
Yeah, we only have a few, so get yours as soon as possible. And when I see them, I'm like, book, last chance.
Listen, Myeshia is finna sell ice to an Eskimo. You hear what I'm saying? Myeshia is a good salesperson. She will convince you need it right now, no matter what it is.
And I think, one of the things that is really beneficial as we're thinking about, raising funds to be able to support this type of event. One of the things that we just haven't wanted to do is charge our vendors to come. Most of the times when you go to a vending event,
there's fees.
You got to pay up to help support that. And many of our vendors are, up and rising, Black owned, and we want to give them an opportunity to shine and take home every profit that they receive. And that's something that we value. So as a fundraiser, we decided people love the shirts. Everybody like, dang, how y'all get a shirt? We want a shirt. We want a shirt.
Right,
so finally, it was like, let's just give people what they've been asking for. So.
Right, because even the shirts last year, like I wear my blue one still. I love my blue T-shirt, but these are like leveled
These
up.
is fire.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
these is on the next level.
Yeah, I love the merch. I think it's super dope. Like the colors.
So you want
just
to take
pop
the surprise what it is?
You just
No,
pay
you
water.
Are you like my daughter right now?
I'll wait.
Like,
Bro, you telling her.
he turned
I
into
like
a
the
whole
shirt so
toddler
much.
at Christmas. You know what I'm saying? He said, "You want to know the surprise?"
You ain't just telling us. You telling all
He like, if you really want to know, I'll
Come get
tell
a
you.
shirt. on
Come get
Summerfest.
a shirt. Come
Come
get a shirt.
at Summerfest.
Now we're gonna be selling them starting Friday. So
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, they might be gone by Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're gonna go. Like,
Yeah.
people are gonna see them, and once they're tangible and right there, where they ain't gotta make that extra trip, because God forbid you go stop at Offer Less and make a purchase. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Go
yeah.
visit Justin downtown.
Yeah.
Shirts are there, y'all. But yeah, the shirts are gonna go. They'll be gone.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt to see them gone on Friday. Now, I do have a question about Friday night that just kind of popped up in my head. What is seating gonna look like? Do people need to bring their own chairs? Is their chairs gonna be there? What's that look like for people that do want to come down and just?
Yeah. So we do encourage people to bring their tents and post up, things of that nature, to be out there for the whole weekend essentially. But it's going to be a live outside standing festival, right?
Okay.
So for the jam session, everyone's going to want to be on their feet to be,
Moving around.
attentive
Okay.
and at the stage, partaking in.
Will you have the picnic
performances.
table area set up Friday
absolutely.
night? So
Oh, yeah.
people will have some place to go sit
Yeah,
down
so
if
there's
they
going
want
to
to
be
rest
some
their
food
feet.
vendors
And eat,
there.
okay.
Yeah, there's going to be food vendors. So it's going to still be festival night. Just going to be live from the stage. It's going to be hype. So most of the vendors will be right there on the pathway or on the sidewalk.
And looking like forward moving with Summerfest. You've laid out some visions already, but what as a community or like people like us here at Catch My Vibe, because we're definitely all in. I know for some of the people with Catch My Vibe, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I know some of them have not been able to attend or weren't aware of the event in the past. So now that we're all on board, and that vision going forward, like what as a community can we do to help you guys transcend the vision, or where can we be like hands on deck? Obviously this year you got it under control, but where can we step in next year to be of any help to kind of just, if it's setting up, or where can we just fill in some gaps where I know for me, I'll just speak for myself coming from More Than a Pretty Face, I wouldn't mind volunteering to help in some capacity if it's needed, right?
Yeah.
Or when it's needed, rather, because I know you'll need some sort of help. So what as a community, or what kind of information can you get out here that would allow people to come in and help you guys with this event?
Yeah, so I think, first and foremost, the easiest thing that we can do that costs nothing, no effort, is share. Share on our social media platforms, on your social media platforms, our flyers. Hakim is pushing out a new flyer every other day, okay? They're beautiful flyers, easy to understand and comprehend. Just share the content first and foremost. And also we need support. So come out, bring your family, bring your friends. I was gonna say about Saturday, this is a really great time for you to bring your picnic bring your chair, bring your picnic, bring whatever you want to bring. And it's an all day type of event. It's activities going on. There's not a beat you'll miss. And so it's like an all day event. So come support the vendors, right? Don't go to Wendy's or somewhere before you go.
When they got that good slab of food down
before
there.
you come to the event, when we're gonna have the food here for you. You
Man, I
know?
hope Acacia come back with her sweets, man. Is
And
she
this is
coming?
sellout. We know that the food vendors always
The
sell
food
out.
vendors always sell
Always
through their food.
So-
Literally every time. Like, if you're hungry, you better get your food like early in the Summerfest day, because they are definitely going to sell out before the end of the day.
Yeah.
And Carrie, the vision with that being on the Equality Trail, right? We really want to utilize that space. It's a beautiful space that cuts throughout the heart of our community, from the King Center all the way out to Parkside. Once we started doing this there, from the first one that we did at Damon Street and Francis Street, where the mural is at, we knew that path was going to be something large enough for us to really fill the void of our community. Because just think of this: if every small business, small entrepreneur, organization in our community came out every year to do Summerfest, it would fill that whole pathway from King Center all the way out to
All the
Park
way
Center.
out,
And you could walk that path and have fun, bring your family. There'd be
Absolutely.
music stages, food stages at different parts of the city. You know what I mean? Like, that's the real vision for this. And just think what we don't have right now is we don't have those little bitty scooters and bikes along that path. Those are the things that somebody in our community, a vendor, a business, someone come up with that business. Put it on this trail, this path that comes right here. Right here where this radio
for
station is
real.
at, the path is right
Listen,
there.
I talk about it all the time. I want to go to Detroit so bad and get on the scooters because I got to go all the way to Detroit to get on the scooters, right?
Yeah.
Well, I can't just go through my community where I am aware, I know the community, right? I don't know Detroit, so to jump up on a scooter up there for me is like, I don't even know where I'm going up here,
That
right?
path
So
could be every day.
here would be a safe and
That
fun.
path could be Detroit's river walk, right? On the Atwater. You know how
Essentially,
that is? It's live every day.
Yeah.
Why our community can't be jumping every day with businesses, vendors all along that path, all along the south side, stepping into the radio station. You know, all kind of things could be happening right here in this community.
Absolutely.
Well, why is it that right across the street where we're at right now, there's a church that used to be our grocery store, but how is it that we can add another church when we already got 15 churches, 47 churches on the south side, but we ain't got no grocery store? Like,
He said 15, 47. He said,
You know
wait a
what I
minute,
mean?
the 15 wasn't
Yeah,
enough.
it's probably
Not for
47,
real.
yeah.
Listen, like, not to get off topic, but me and my kids joked about this the other day. I said, when you look around Jackson, what do you see most of? And my kids literally said, churches, Dollar General,
And-
dispensaries, and liquor stores.
I was
And
waiting for it. I knew it.
Yeah.
Like, why is that? And now, listen, my kids are grown, so whatever. But why is that what our kids see or
Recognize.
envision to be what Jackson knows? Like, there's literally 75 dispensaries in Jackson County, liquor stores everywhere. So you're right when you talk about. I always go back to this, and I've said this on so many occasions about even sometimes when Summerfest traffic goes down. It irritates me as a person that sees and goes into the community to every event. I go to the Hot Air Jubilee, I go to the Pride Fest, the Heritage Fest, whatever downtown's doing. I like to be out and be around people, right? The money's here. We know this. The money is in the community, and also what's in the community is participation. And so when you see the participation happen for some of these events, and then the lack of participation happens, it's like, what's really the problem? We know what it is. You've already touched on it, right? So we know what the problem is. How do we change the narrative? Like, that's where I'm like, what can I just want to scream at people like, can you just give it a chance? Because if you would give it a chance, the narrative for you may change, right? I talked about unconscious biases a while ago on my show. People have them. We all have unconscious biases, right? Which is what a lot of, I hate to say it, white people, but a lot of white people have them, have this subconscious fear, locking their doors. They don't want to go to the south side because God forbid there's too many black people there, right? My fear is almost weirdly the other way. I'm weirded out by too many white people. Like, I don't like saying that out loud to too many people. I joke about it with my friends. But for me, that's the uncomfortable space because of what I've been around growing up, right? So there's both sides to that, what happens in people's mindset. I've gotten both sides of it, right? I grew up in a domestic violence household, and for me, that always made me fear white men, even though it was my dad that was involved in it, right? And so I just want to just scream at people to just give it an opportunity. But with that being said, when I do come to Summerfest, what I do love to see is there is diversity. There is people you would never expect, and many of them probably don't frequent the South Side outside of this event, right? And so that's where it's like, what can we do to be encouraging to those people, you know? And that's why I just keep talking about it. Like, I'm like, just come.
Yeah.
Just come see what they're doing over
And
here.
we've had people reach out, like, and just be like, can white people come? And I'm like, why do you think they... I mean,
it's a community event.
but I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And a couple of things you said. One, we must stop apologizing for truth. I'm sorry, white people, but y'all white privilege, bro, there's nothing sorry about that.
Right.
You're white privilege. Why do I have to be sorry
Very
because of something that's real and
Yeah.
true? We're not sorry for that anymore. Right. And then it goes back to that intentional disinvestment. One of the things we've been having conversations around is this concept of sovereignty, which means ownership. Let me just generalize it so nobody's feelings will get hurt. America was founded off white supremacy. White supremacy says we don't want people of color to have ownership over anything. We want to have ownership over you. So when we do events, when we have organizations that don't have that superior look what Hakim said when he first started. We started it and then they took it over and that was flourishing.
Right.
And so we're in that cycle of we have an opinion, we have an idea, we share it, we invite folks in, then they take over,
observe and take it back.
And then we just got an attitude and hate everything.
Right.
Instead of getting to this point where let's just create our own. Too many people too afraid to create our own. This is beautiful. Catch My Vibe is a whole vibe.
Right.
This is beautiful. To have ownership from people of color. Beautiful. Easily, if the other radio station in town that's not owned by people of color come up and say, we want to invest, $500,000 in, but we want it ran like this. We so accustomed to chasing money and dollars that we give up our voice for some money because we don't see the vision. Because we don't understand the concept of ownership and sovereignty. We don't see the legacy that we're creating. We don't see all of these intricate, life-changing, the most important stuff. We're chasing a dollar. Right. Don't you know if you chase your passion, money will come?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Money gonna come for us. We have doing things a little different right now, but the money gonna come because we're not gonna stop.
Right. That consistency.
And eventually they gonna see, they meaning who they are, they gonna see, oh, they not stopping, we better catch on. Because they're not going to stop doing that. We're going to have to get on board.
Right. We're going to have to find a way to get involved.
We're going to have to find a way.
That's what's going to happen.
One of the things I tell people, like you said, I use my privilege well. If you connected with an organization and they giving out money, Southside Summerfest, they're a black-owned organization, very, very prominent in our community.
Absolutely.
Changing the culture of a community. Where else would you want to invest your money in?
And the passion behind it, I think, speaks volumes for itself. Because again, as an outsider coming into seeing what has occurred for the years that I have been able to see it, watching Hakim and knowing his story and just the passion that exudes from him about the community that he grew up in, right? He grew up right there dead in the South Side, and many, many family members of his still reside on the South Side. He owns property on the South Side, right? And so the passion is speaking volumes. Even if you don't know the South Side, if you've seen him talk about it, or if you've seen him engage how passionate he really does feel about the growth of it. So it is all going to come, and I think tenfold and probably even more it's going to happen, and I hope I'm around still to see what happens, right? Because none of us are guaranteed tomorrow, so I hate to, but I hope I'm here to really see that vision unfold, and really watch the vision transcend and really be exactly what you want it to be, which is miles long of businesses. Because again, there is enough businesses here that really still don't really even have the platform or understand, which, before we wrap it up, speaking of vendors and opportunities, I just seen a flyer that you guys still have openings for vendors. So briefly explain how they can get to register to be a vendor. They've already let you guys know there's not a cost to sign up to be a vendor, which is really a blessing, you guys. I've been a vendor at some events, and honestly, as somebody who never aspired to be a vendor, right, it's hard to go to events and pay out of pocket to be at that event and not make $1. And you've sat there for 8-10 hours, you've set up, you've tore down, you've done all this product, and you're just defeated, right? So this does give people like me an opportunity to make a couple dollars and not throw that back to the people that are having the event. So how can somebody become a vendor, even as soon as this one coming up next week? And then going forward, is it the same process later on?
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit about vendoring and vendors, because this event essentially was born out of giving opportunity to small-based businesses, because we understand that with an economy, a community can thrive. Without a economy, without a community's own economy, a community simply can't thrive. And the circulation of the dollar within its community, because the black dollar leaves right away, with checks being cashed, soon as money gets it's gone to a store, to a bank, etc. And with other communities, it circulates 7 times, 17 times, 24 times before it goes outside the community. The impact of Southside Festival Series has had a tremendous impact on new, aspiring small businesses. Some businesses that are booming right now, got their first opportunity, their first shot was at Summerfest in 2019, in 2020, right? First shot. And now blew up and they're doing things and they're in the market, in the industry, got customer base, etc. So that's the reason why we keep doing this, to make sure that they have that opportunity. So the opportunity is available. Really, we don't really close that. We don't say that there's only 40 spaces or 60 spaces, because we got that whole pad.
That's right.
We use all that space out there.
That's right.
That's one thing. I'll find you a space.
Okay.
We'll make space.
Right, no,
right?
for real, because you have had to. Listen,
We've had to.
21, 22, whatever year. I mean, there was so many vendors. They was up on hills. They was back off in the cut, down in the street. Like, the one year, there was so many vendors, like, if you didn't have a good time that year, you was really tripping and missing. So I don't know what happened, but yeah, so how much space do you really think? Like, how many vendors could you really put down there? Like, realistically, in the corner right there, and then up that trail. Just a guesstimate.
We can take really, into about 60 vendors, because that goes around the sidewalk too on High Street.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And if we utilize all those spaces, we've tagged them and numbered them up into the 60s.
Nice.
So there's plenty of space out there. All you do is go to our Southside Festival Series page on Facebook. The links are there to go on to our website. The registration on our website. The links are just there. There's ways to tap into us, through social media to register, or to reach out to us and we'll send you the link, to register. It's real simple. It's very free. We just need some logistical information that'll help us, allow us to organize who we have and how to place you and etc.
So I'm just going to say something as somebody that's been there watching you guys run around and make sure everything is set up and good. If y'all are vendors, just get there and set up early, please. Like, as a person in the community, even when I'm not a vendor, it drives me crazy. Like, can you just be here and set up your vendor stuff on time? Like, have your products ready. We appreciate all the vendors. They do a wonderful job. But, like, sometimes you're like, what is happening? It's like 2 o'clock and you got a vendor popping up. You know what I mean? I'm just joking. I'm really messing with y'all. But
that's the real
seriously,
thing.
like...
And we're encouraging our vendors, because here's the thing. When you start taking your business seriously, other people will too. And part of that is, being on time and starting up.
Yeah.
And then also, we operate out of equity. We real people. We know things really do happen. So we ain't going to be like, nah, bro, you just can't set up.
Right.
We're going to be like,
let them set up.
Let's just do better next time. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, absolutely.
And I think, when you think about our team, Selena and Hakim and myself, like, we're not new to this community.
No.
We've each in our own capacities deeply invested into this community. And so the community ain't working with strangers. These are people. Yeah, we are people. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So I think people automatically, when you think about why no violence happens at Summerfest, why it's such a good energy.
Tearing up stuff.
Why it's such a good energy, you know what I'm saying? Did the mic go off?
No, it just came on.
I'm good. I hold it.
He'll hold it. Yeah, he'll hold it.
He said he might check one too.
Yeah, you on punishment for messing up. We just said we're looking for funds. Now you out here
breaking stuff. Pay up, sir. Right. We know you got the funds tapping in over there. Anyways, go ahead, Myeshia.
Yeah, but I didn't. So trusted people in the community. People know they can trust us. Sometimes we gotta go there, but people know, we don't play none of that. It's always a safe, always good vibes. Absolutely. We don't play none of that, you know what I'm saying?
But as we grow, we're growing. We're gonna have, a big concert jam, a live concert outside, and the various people we're bringing got fan bases, whether it be 10 people or 100 people. Right. So we just might have 500 people out there. We just might have 300 people out there. Yeah. And just for the record, we actually do and will have security out there Friday. And it will be armed security, and they're going to be there to do their job. I ain't going to they out there doing their thing. You know what I mean? No, just to make sure we're all safe in our community.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, as people that don't really understand what's happening or they've never been, maybe that's what makes them feel like, okay, at least I feel like if something does pop off, there's somebody there. Not to be funny, but not the police, right? We don't. Right. I don't care to have them at the event, but I'm just saying
we welcome them.
We do welcome them, but I'm just saying
they come back too.
They do. They do be up there chilling too. They do be coming in and eating. They can't wait to get the food. But in general, I think for a community having just that private security that you know is really there to just watch and protect what's happening, can make people that maybe do have a weird insecurity about coming, maybe that is what allows them to feel safe.
Because when the police come, they're not there to supervise our
No,
event.
they're not.
They're there as visitors in our community.
No, absolutely. I always laugh when they pull up because I be like, what they doing now? What they trying to see? And I laugh about it, but they come eat.
And they come with a humble spirit, knowing that they're just visitors. Now, for this event, for a concert, we're going to have security, which are there to be security. You know what I'm saying?
No,
so
absolutely.
Just the distinguishing the difference. But
no, it'll be exciting. Like I said, I'm super excited to be there. To be involved with the new team that I'm working with. Like, I love Catch My That's my nephew. Really, a lot of people don't know Cameron's my nephew. You know what I mean? So to be brought in this team and then to be able to be a part of an event like this in a different capacity, right? I've been the attendee, I've been a vendor, and now this is just a whole nother level of excitement for me to be able to just be there and really kind of shine that light on the great artists that are coming out Friday night. I mean, the list is really tremendous, and I think the crowd will really show that there's a lot of talent here, which leads me to one last thing I want to talk about. The talent show was one of my favorite things that ever happened at Summerfest. So I know me here at Catch My Vibe, we've definitely talked about some talent show events. I know, Hakim, when you were young, you were a break dancer and involved in all that kind of stuff. So that's something that for me personally, if we do get to that point again, I would love to have you guys involved in some capacity, because I think stuff like that is what is kind of missing. Like, kids have so much tremendous talent in this community, and right now there isn't a real showcase place for that, right? And so that for me was like, I cried at that talent show because them kids was so proud of themselves and just so happy to get up there and share. From the little bitty ones to the teenagers, So
we did it the first year.
Yeah.
2019, when we first did Summerfest, we did a talent show. We had judges. We had a huge stage. It was absolutely beautiful.
I won. Remember, I did the poetry event.
Did you win? I know Sarah.
Second or third place.
Kennedy won too.
I might have been third place. If you first, second, or third, I got a little check. I think
she
so.
said, "Listen, I won." What y'all talking about?
Sarah, Kennedy's daughter. Remember Kennedy? She was in. She won. She did some dancing.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah. So we had a history of that.
Yeah, the talent show is sweet. I love it.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite things that I've actually seen at Summerfest. Like, I just love it. Now the animals, the lady with the bird, she can stay over with her bird in her cage.
We're trying to bring a zoo though, like that small little miniature zoo. I was trying to work that out. So many elements. So so be thinking about this. Everybody in our community, be thinking about what you want to see at a festival like this, at a fair, so to speak, and help support us. Bring that to us. Bring that opportunity there. Like Derry's doing the extreme hip hop, the fashion show. We need a pageant. You know what I mean? We need a pageant. We need to Miss Southside, Miss Jackson, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Miss Southside.
Whatever elements that people have in the community to offer, to our community, bring it to Summerfest. Come partner with us. Let's offer it out there along that huge stretch we have, out to all that space we have, and let's bring the community out.
Absolutely. Any final words from you, Myeshia?
I will say this. Something you said was really important. I think as we're talking about bringing, maybe that exists already. Yeah. There's not just one burger spot. There's like 50 burger spots in this community, right? So we can have all of this happening. You can do this. If somebody else is doing it, it's okay, because we're not in a competition.
Exactly.
But what you said was so important. We're thinking about this, and we love to have y'all on. I think we've been so in the mentality of competing against each other for so long that collaboration is sometimes hard to see, which is why I'm glad we're being the catalyst for what it looks like appropriately. We have to work together. We have to work together in order to achieve the vision that we all have for this community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's okay for us to work together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, that's your thing and you want us there? Like, that's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely.
My name not on the top, so I'm not coming. Please, we not in that space
let's
no
humble
more.
ourselves just slightly, right?
It's bigger than us.
It's bigger than us, and I always go back to say, Jackson is actually a really big community. When you really look at the size of Jackson, and even comparison to Ingham County and Jackson County, they're very comparable in size. The difference is the way the layouts are, right? That's right. So the centralized part of our city isn't that huge, but there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and there's millions of dollars in this community. And really, the way to grow this community is by collaborating with people like-minded, and I talk about this and I have in the past, with morals, integrity, people that are really doing and going for the right things is what's really going to be that shift to push things in the right direction, and that's important.
Because everybody with power or a title don't have integrity and character.
No, absolutely, absolutely.
We must. Everybody.
Everybody doesn't.
Yes.
Everybody
we gotta stop inviting people to the table just because they have a position.
Yeah.
Right?
Please
Well, so-and-so's in a position. Let's call them to come. Who's doing the work in the community?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? Who is really connected to the community and are really serving the community? Right? Not there to be fulfilling a role and a title in the community, because titles don't mean nothing in the end.
Right. Titles
it's really
don't
all
make the
about
moves.
our service to our people and our community. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys. I know I got Myeshia on time crunch, so whoever you're working for is finna beat me up. But
yeah, we were
I
at
appreciate
a
you.
homeless shelter. I gotta go.
I really do appreciate you guys coming out. Like, again, I'm super excited. Friday night's gonna be just for me. Like, I'm celebrating my birthday that night too. So if I act a little fool, y'all don't
want
put
me
me
on
out.
birthday sash and stuff?
Huh?
You want me on birthday sash and stuff?
Collecting money.
I should. I need to. You know what I'm saying? I might have me a little fancy outfit. I don't know. I'm being
Collect
funny.
a couple dollars.
I know I might as well.
That little sticker.
But I'm excited. I can't wait. Individually, along the way of my show, I would love to have you both back in different capacities. I love everything that you guys stand for in the community. Everyone that was supposed to be here tonight, I know Justin and Selena also busy. Selena and Justin.
You know what I'm saying? Justin helped this
the
year.
whole team.
Tremendously with helping with the Friday night jam session, so that was crucial for it.
Yeah. I appreciate your guys' whole team, everything that you guys really do stand for in our community. Trust and believe. Even when we feel like people ain't watching, people are watching. The people that understand, right? So I'm grateful to know you guys. You guys have been a blessing to me. I appreciate you being on my show. And we're going to continue to move forward with things. But yes, the collaboration move is the way to go, and I'm excited for the things up and coming. So thank you guys once again for being here, and
shout out to Catch My Vibe.
Yes, shout out one more time.
Catch My Vibe is such a vibe.
It is a vibe in here.
If the community didn't know y'all, they gonna know y'all this year.
Yes.
Okay. You know what I'm saying?
We gotta get out here stepping. So
sure.
We appreciate you guys. Y'all have a safe weekend. I didn't get into all that, but y'all be safe. No drinking and driving this weekend. I will see y'all next Thursday. We out.
Peace.